Welcome back to Lake Tahoe, Nevada. We're inside Caesars Tahoe Resort, and Oscar De La Hoya is just making his entrance into the ring. Frankie Avelar is already on the scene, and Alex Wallow, we've talked about personalities. Let's talk about what it's going to take to win this fight.
Well, in terms of strategy, Dan, from Oscar's point of view, he's made an easy transition to the pros. His style was really better suited to the pros than the amateurs because it is based on power. And Oscar says he loves the pros because he can take his time and put power in every punch. The one Achilles heel that Oscar may have as he moves up is in terms of mobility. He is not yet very good at cutting the ring off and moving around the ring. And he may be bothered by a guy who's got very, very good ring movement. Frankie Avelar is not that opponent. Frankie is a fairly immobile opponent. You see there, he is a super featherweight champion. That means he's a 130-pound champion. Dan, one interesting thing here is that this fight was made at 132 pounds, and Oscar actually weighed in at 131. The last time we saw him, if you remember, he weighed the heaviest he had for his career, which is 138. So they are now looking in terms of Oscar at going down and perhaps fighting for his first title fight at 130 pounds. The bottom line is Frankie Avelar will be fighting a couple of pounds above where he is most effective, and that cannot be good for him.
All right, Alex, you mentioned their weights. Let's go ahead and check the tail of the tape. And we will find out one thing for sure. Oscar De La Hoya is a tall lightweight at 5'9¼ only 20 years old, and an extensive reach advantage for De La Hoya. Let's go up now to our ring, and Michael Buffer has the ring announcement.
Incorporated presents 10 rounds of boxing in the lightweight division. The referee for this contest is Vic Draculich. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Caesars Tahoe, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red, white, and blue trunks, weighing in at 131½ pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, with a record of 15-3, 7 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, El Pistolero Frankie Avelar. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks and weighing in at 131 pounds. From Montebello, California, undefeated with a record of 6-0, 5 KOs. The 1992 Olympic gold medal champion, the pride of East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
The rules for our fight today: it's a non-title fight, so the Nevada State Athletic Commission rules will apply. Scoring will be on the 10-point must system. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The standing 8 is not. Only the referee may stop the bout, and a fighter can be saved by the bell, but only in the final round. And as you heard Michael Buffer say, Vic Draculich is our referee. Shaved off his beard, a different look for Vic, and the clean-shaven one is ready to get this thing started.
Small ring, Dan, 17-foot ring. And that's
as we had in the last De La Hoya fight when we had them out in San Diego back in February. Frankie Avelar in the striped shorts, Oscar De La Hoya in the all-white, befitting his image, certainly. Both conventional right-handed fighters. Oh, a good left hand by De La Hoya, caught Avelar on the forehead.
You see Frankie Avelar there trying to work the body. Oscar putting out some not full snap jabs.
Frankie Avelar, Alex, had some bold talk before this fight, actually predicting that he would knock De La Hoya out. De La Hoya has already signed to fight Troy Dorsey next month, and this really, this was a very personal thing to Avelar, who took offense to that, saying he's been overlooked.
I really like Frankie's attitude. He said, I see this fight as the first of a 2-fight series. I'm going to beat him, and then we're going to come back and fight again, and I'll beat him again in a big money rematch.
Well, he certainly has the eye towards promotion. Let's see if he has the eye towards fisticuffs and being able to handle Oscar.
You see the latest endorsement deal of Oscar De La Hoya. Bum sports apparel there. That is not a comment on Oscar's ability. I think it's a strange kind of a title to be on boxing trunks.
See, they just got $1 million worth of publicity. Great combination by De La Hoya. Look at the fast hands. Oh, a solid left uppercut by De La Hoya.
And Frankie Avelar is not letting his hands go. He's usually a fairly busy fighter.
We want to remind our ABC stations that we'll be taking a station break at the end of this round. The crisper punches have been landed by Oscar De La Hoya in the first 2 minutes of this fight.
And obviously Oscar being very, very patient. He has not come out here as Jeremy Williams did looking for a quick knockout. He is taking his time. Last fight he went the full 8-round distance, the first non-knockout in his pro career. Ooh.
Another good punch by De La Hoya. That was against Mike Grable. Oh, another digging left hand, and De La Hoya's punches are landing solidly.
Yeah, and Frankie Avelar is kicked into a full survival mode.
Yes.
He is not throwing punches.
Well, again, Alex, and some more punches that De La Hoya hurt. We commented about Oscar before. Look at that lethal body shot combination. Alex, he is a huge lightweight at over 5'9".
He's a bigger 131 pounder today. He looks a little bit drawn to me, but so far it hasn't seemed to affect him at all.
We'll return after a word from our ABC stations. The end of the first. Here we go, the start of the second round on our Quaker State Professional Boxing Series, and Frankie Avelar fights back, and he lands some good solid shots to the body.
And two good right hands to the head. And it seemed to me that Oscar went not funny, but he definitely got Oscar's attention.
They backed him up for sure. This fight had all the earmarks of one that isn't going to last very long.
I had added Frankie to the endangered species list at the end of round one.
Oh, there was no way that he could take the shots he took in round one for more than 5 or 6 rounds maximum. And Frankie Avelar has opened up here with a real flurry in the second round.
And that really can only be good for Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, he needs to have opponents who throw punches like Frankie's trying to do right now.
It was a good right to the side, then he came back with a left by Avelar. Good stiff jab by De La Hoya. 3 in a row. Make it 4.
Sand, bring along a talented prospect properly. It's very, very delicate. There you see a warning to Frankie Avelar for going south with some of his body punches. I mean, you want to match a talented prospect against opponents who are good enough to provide a valuable learning experience, but not good enough to beat your guy. And British promoter Mickey Duff's phrase, capable but not dangerous. And I think that's what Frankie Avelar is in there right now.
Well, look at that left hand by De La Hoya. You could see it coming. He landed about 10 consecutive hard punches, just the way it happened in the first round. And he drops Avelar with a big left hand.
For the first time in Frankie Avelar's 18-fight pro career.
And now Frankie's got to be smart here in the last minute of the second round.
Frankie is going from being aggressive in the first 30 seconds of this round back into the survival mode.
Good jab and a good body shot combination, but look at De La Hoya respond. Luckily, most of those landed on Avelar's shoulders. Oh, another good snapping shot to the head. Oscar De La Hoya, he let things get away for about 10 or 15 seconds at the start of this round, is firmly back in control. Frankie Avelar was knocked down early in this round. He has regained his feet and his composure inside the final 10 seconds of the second round, and we're going to stay here between commercials and take a look at the knockdown. Stay here between rounds.
Good work by Oscar De La Hoya. There you see Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the former Eddie the Flame Gregory, sitting Frankie Avelar down there. Eddie, let's listen to Eddie, a former light heavyweight champion.
You're looking over the glove. Hide behind the glove, Frankie, and roll and relax. All right? The up jabs working perfect. Don't stop doing that.
Eddie's turned into a real talented trainer. Let's take a look at the knockdown. Straight jab, right hand missed, but that inside left, put your punches together. Sometimes the punches don't have to land to set your man up.
It was kind of a cross, Alex, between a hook and an uppercut.
An uppercut,
it was on the right on the 45 degree.
Oscar's very left-hand oriented. You see here, he got a good combination later in the round.
Methodical is the only way to describe the approach of Oscar De La Hoya.
All right. Come on, Tam. Let's go, baby. He shot his leg.
The eyes, they bear down. We talked at the top of the show about, with all the distractions and the whirlwind of activities around him, how he's able to maintain his focus on his training and his boxing. There's a good look at it right there.
Let's go, Frankie. Don't take on it.
Stiff left hand by De La Hoya. That was just a solid jab. And look at the concentration. To sit and talk with Oscar De La Hoya is to talk to the meekest, most mild-mannered, most civilized and gentlemanly young person you could find. And that snarl you see on his face in the ring, Alex, is a complete 180.
Yeah, he burns. I mean, you can see it in his eyes. They're not Duran's eyes. I mean, they're not that kind of intensity. Nobody else had what Duran had in recent memory, but he's in focused, intense, complaining about a butt there. Wanted to touch gloves. Frankie's too busy holding his hands up trying to protect his chin.
The right and then the left hand, and a delayed reaction as Frankie Avelar goes down.
Yes,
and I'm not sure he's going to...
Ocho.
Well,
okay.
He waits till the last minute, springs up.
I admire Victor Kulich's Spanish. And give him the count.
The second knockdown of the fight. And Oscar De La Hoya now zeroes in.
Frankie said before the fight, he's all left hand. All I have to do is move to my left to stay away from it. It's easier said than done.
And there's more than just the left hand. But when you listen to the sound that De La Hoya's punches make when they land, there is an audible difference between the two.
You know, Dan, it's interesting to see Oscar at this weight. He weighs 131 pounds, to be said, very light for him. He's looking to see how he feels to go down to 130. When he's this gaunt and this tight at the weight, he really does begin to remind you a little bit, not quite as tall, but of Arguello, Alexis Arguello, who was one of his idols.
Right.
And he's got the same kind of stalking about him, the same intensity.
Look at the fast hands by De La Hoya, and Frankie Avelar, to his credit, fights back. No rollover here in Frankie Avelar.
Absolutely to his credit, and to Oscar De La Hoya's benefit, as we said. He needs these kind of fights as learning experiences. Needs to learn how to finish a man when he had him hurt, as he did in the last round.
But when you're watching this at home, and we're watching this from ringside, it looks like these two are 2 weight classes apart.
Well, actually they are. I mean, you know, except they both are 131.
Yeah.
But the point is they come from different weight classes. And
right.
You got one man, Frankie Avelar, on the right, coming up from 130, and Oscar De La Hoya coming down from lightweight 135.
And actually, they come into this fight, Avelar weighing a ½ pound more. Figure it out. The beginning of the 4th round from Lake Tahoe, Nevada, on our Quaker State Professional Boxing Series. Dan Deerdorf, along with Alex Wallow, ringside from Caesars Tahoe. Oscar De La Hoya there on the left in the white trunks. Frankie Avelar wearing the red, white, blue. And Frankie Avelar has been down twice in the 2nd and the 3rd round. Oscar De La Hoya has been methodical in his approach to this fight.
Methodical and very, very patient. And there might be some who find fault with the fact that Oscar did not jump in his man when he had him hurt. Down twice.
That left hand by Avelar was low. The warning by referee Vic Draculich.
Vic says, don't, I mean, in Frankie's mind, hey, Vic, a little bit of an edge here, will you?
Yeah, that warning, the least of Frankie Avelar's problem.
Yeah. Vic said, second to last time, meaning next time he take a point away. I don't think Frankie's concerned.
Oscar De La Hoya, 2 separate occasions in this fight, has unleashed 8 to 10 punch combinations.
Hands up, hands up!
This is just pawing punches by De La Hoya. This is almost... I don't understand what he's doing here, Alex. He's just rat-a-tat-tatting.
Hands up, hands up, hands up!
He's throwing punches. You see it. This is Oscar from the amateurs. This is not really smart.
Oh.
Oscar said the thing he likes about the pros, well, maybe he's just trying to lull Frankie to death and let go punches like that. Lull him to death is nothing.
Obviously, Oscar has 2 speeds. Down goes Avelar again, and that might be it.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Frankie's going to get up.
What the?
He made it.
You all right?
A tough kid, Frankie Avelar. Vic Draculich seriously considering stopping this fight. And I'm not so sure he should have.
Yeah.
There it goes. Oscar De La Hoya remains undefeated, moves to 7-0. 6 of them by knockout, and a game performance by Frankie Avelar. He got up, he tried to continue, and Vic Draculich, the referee, I think wisely stopped this fight. This kid is good.
Let's take a look, Dan, at the combination against the ropes that put Frankie down. Oscar, remember, had been pity-patting, but here he stepped it up, as you pointed out. He kicked into the second speed. Frankie just had no place to go except the canvas. He took a count of 9.5, got up, nodded yes to the referee. The referee, Vic Draculich, let me point out one thing that happened there. Watch what happens here. Let this play through, if you would. He lets Frankie walk to him. Dan, if you remember, and then Oscar move in, and then Vic, after a series of punches, accurate punches, Vic Draculich steps in, the referee, and stops the fight. Dan, you remember back in, and this is totally off the point as we see Oscar live, you remember back in the sensational Meldrick Taylor, Julio Cesar Chavez fight, I always made the point that I thought Richard Steele made a mistake in stopping that fight when he did, because what he should have done was what Vic Draculich did there, was to ask Meldrick to step to him after completing the 8 count. If Meldrick did not respond, then stop the fight.
We want to remind you that we're going to have a tremendous fight coming up. Michael Carbajal and Humberto Gonzalez from back in March, plus an interview with De La Hoya when we come back.
Thanks, JB. I think JB